Hi guys, I'm Beth and this is Read Remark. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Booktube Prize semifinals. I am so happy to be one of the judges for the Booktube Prize semifinals. What is the Booktube Prize, you may ask? This is a contest put on by Robert over at Barter Hordes, in which we pit books against one another and rank them 1 to 6 in the order in which we enjoyed them, in the order in which we think that they were high quality books. So down to the semifinals, we are down to the best of the best, and every book that I read was high quality. Every book was really good. The book I'm going to talk about today is one that I have ranked #1 on another previous Booktube Prize round, and that is Happiness by Aminatta Forna. This is a book that follows a little fox that is loose in the city, but really the book is not about the little fox. The fox is just kind of there. What the story is really about are these two characters who run into one another when the fox crosses their paths. There's Attila, this big, hulking, large man, very intelligent. He's a psychologist of note who is in the city to deliver a keynote address. There's also Jean, a woman who's middle-aged, she's a divorcee, and she is in the city to study foxes and their behaviors. Their paths just happen to cross, they just happen to strike up a conversation, and the relationship from there grows. Meanwhile, one of Attila's friends is missing a child named Tano who was lost in the immigration shuffle. And so Attila and Jean band together along with several of their other friends and acquaintances they've made in the city to help find Tano. Now, it's not a story that I usually go for. Usually I go for something that's very strongly plot driven. I want a definitive story with a beginning, middle, and end. I'm just really drawn to stories like that. This is more of a true literary fiction in which it's not really necessarily a story per se. It's not even necessarily a character study because we don't delve too deep into these people's psyches. It's more just, I wouldn't call it ambient, but it's more where we're just kind of seeing these people at a moment in time. Now, the thing that really got me about this story was that beyond the story, beyond the little fox, beyond looking for Tano, is just the relationships that these people form with one another. Just this exquisite, extraordinary kindness that they visit upon each other. Practically strangers. Sometimes they haven't even met. For example, there's a doorman and his spouse who have never met Tano. They don't know this kid from anyone else, and yet they become part of the ones who are looking for him to try and find him and reunite him with his mother. It's just so heartwarming. It really warms my cold, dead heart, which was quite a feat for me because I'm not really touched. You know, sometimes when there's something like that, I find it a little bit too treacly, a little bit too saccharine, a little bit too forced. But in this story, I think maybe it just happened so quietly. It's not that there was this band of merry do-gooders who went out on this crusade and shouted out their good deeds to the world. It's just that they all quietly banded together and did what needed to be done because they cared so much about this kid, about the idea of a lost child being reunited with the mother who so desperately wants to find him. So, meanwhile, while all of this is going, Attila and Jean, this most unlikely of pairs, manage to find a romance with one another. But really, the book's not about the romance either. I don't know exactly what it's about other than just the happiness that we find within one another, and to me that's just so truly beautiful. Now, there was an extended scene at the beginning of the book that's probably a little bit out of place, probably did not need to be there. I've talked before about needing to kill your darlings. I wonder if this is one of the darlings that Aminatta Forna maybe should have considered killing, and that is this extended sequence from the past of a fox hunter. Very interesting, very captivating, but it kind of threw me off because I didn't really know what to expect from the rest of the book based on that, and I kind of kept expecting for that to come back later in the book, and it really didn't. It probably didn't really belong there. Very interesting, probably a darling that could have been killed. Many could even argue that the fox didn't need to be in the story at all. It wasn't central to the plot. Its absence would not have changed the story one way or the other. But when you consider that a fox can be a good omen, it can be a harbinger of opportunities coming, I think it adds just that nice, subtle little extra thing. So pleased to rank that as number 1 in the Booktube Prize semifinals. Here's how I ranked the rest of the books. Number 6 was A Place for Us by Fatima, Fsarheen, Mirza. Now, it was a good book. I'm telling you, I'm at the spot where everything is good. Everything is good. So these were extraordinarily difficult decisions to make. I liked that book, just not as much as the rest. Number 5 was The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker, another book that took me by surprise. After reading Circe and being a little bit lukewarm on it, I was kind of reluctant to delve back into the world of mythology. The Silence of the Girls really got me. Number 4 was Fruit of the Drunken Tree by Ingrid Rojas Contreras. And you guys, this is the point that the contest is really starting to get to me, because I feel like I'm doing that book a disservice by not ranking it as number 1. It was so good, but them's the shakes. Number 3 was There by Tommy Orange. This is another book that kind of took me by surprise. I didn't expect it to be so gripping, so jarring, but it was both in the best of ways. It gave such an intimate look at Native American life, both its triumphs and its challenges, and I really enjoyed that book. Number 2, of course, if you know me and my cold dead heart, you would know that A Ladder to the Sky by John Boyne speaks to me, because I just enjoyed reading about the diabolical character Morris and how he would stop at nothing to get exactly what he wanted. So evil, so horrible. Couldn't stop. Couldn't stop. But of course, number 1 for me was Happiness by Aminatta Forna. Now, if any of you have read any of those and have strong opinions about them one way or the other, let me know. I would love to open up the discussion and talk about these books some more. And I can't wait to see what ranks as the ultimate number 1 Booktube Prize winner overall. Thank you so much for joining with me. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you all next time. Bye. And then Jean, a more diminutive